Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. You're going to feel the month of November of 2024 is like you are being born again. You are letting go of a journey that you've been on for the last 16 years, and you're coming into a refreshment of yourself, feeling at once both done and complete and starting fresh and new in a very beautiful, blessed way. It all has to do with Pluto. We're also going to talk about some big changes in your finances as well that are going to be playing out during the month of November into December. So stay tuned for that. So welcome to this rebirth, Capricorn. I can't wait to dive into all of the details of the month ahead in our half hour together here today. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I use the Western Tropical Zodiac, the whole sign house system, and those fixed stars and minor asteroids are always up my alley. So you'll find a lot of really cool content here on my channel in my weekly videos, my lunar eclipse videos, everything else, my moon videos. So give me a try, like, subscribe, and see if you like this kind of content. I'm also very into mundane astrology, so you'll find a lot of world event astrology here as well. But when it comes to you this month, the only thing I want to share with you that is about me is that I'm selling or offering you my 2025 individual deep dive 2-hour-long videos for purchase for 2025's forecast for your sign. You can buy it for your sun or moon and rising individually, or you can buy the bundle of 12 hours of video content and audio content that you can download into your device, or you can just watch it on my unlisted videos on YouTube. This never is given to the public. And there's PDF guidebooks that go with this content. This is my way of raising money every year, just to, hire some people to help me timestamp and get some. I need a new laptop right now. This is an old MacBook Air and it is starting to fail. So I need to get new equipment. I need sometimes new microphones or lighting kits or something. And that's what I use this funding for, to create more of this success on this channel. So please help me out and go ahead. Don't give me money. Buy something I've created for you. It's delivered November the 17th to your inbox. You're just buying it as I am currently producing it. I'm in production. All right. So now let's talk about November and why it is a big deal. Obviously, if you're a Capricorn and you don't know this, you're not doing astrology, right? You're just new to it today. You've had Pluto moving through the sign of Capricorn since 2008. He went dipping back in there September 1st of this year, and he's turned direct on October 11th, and he's exiting on November 19th. It is the last gasp of Pluto. By the 20th of November, you're like, all done. Thank you. Go away. It's been a journey of transformation, crisis, death, and rebirth. You've experienced death. You've looked death in the face, either personally or with those around you. You've been through very challenging growth edges, and it is over. And as it ends, we also get some succor or some blessings from Venus for you. So let's break it down a bit here. I start these videos, by the way, by talking about the big picture, what all the planets are doing for you. Then I give you a picture of the screen and we break down specific dates to pay attention to in the month ahead. First of all, you become internally sourced with power. It's not about the power over you. It's the power within you that you have learned to become intimate with since 2008. I mean, cheer you on. The Aquarians get this lesson next. And when you're listening today for your sun, it can be more father figure, career, and purpose related. And the moon can be home and body and safety needs. And the rising sign, kind of the everything about you in your life, the most, generally true. But listen for all three. If you're Cap, sun, or moon, listen and see how it resonates for you as well. So when Pluto's leaving and saying goodbye around the 19th, 20th of the month, and he's out of there and he's like ditching the whole story, you also have another blessing, and that's Venus. Venus will also support you. So let's talk about how it works. Venus, the greater benefic, the lesser benefic, Jupiter's the greater, will start off the month already present in Sagittarius. And for you, that's behind you. That's in your 12th house of karmic chains that bind you, self-undoings and addictions, bad habits and patterns, and spiritual moksha liberation, to name a few things. And she's in a subtle place and she's helping you at a deep soul level. But then when we get to the 11th, she shifts gears and moves into Capricorn. And she's there to say, Pluto's leaving and I'm here. Let me bless you as this ending occurs. And if Pluto has any rewards to give you, then with Venus there after November the 11th and Pluto leaving on the 19th, between the 11th and the 19th, you are turbocharged. There is something going on where Venus says, luck, blessings, beauty, kindness, money, and friendship. It's a loose wealth yoga, and it indicates you may come into some significant wealth as a parting Plutonian gift, and particularly for Cap rising, but conceivably for Cap sun and moon as well. Let me know. And if it is a sun in position, maybe the big excitement is a career opportunity. But if it's the moon, a home opportunity. But if it's your Capricorn rising, it's probably actually just, look at me, I got a ka-ching of a mini wealth yoga going on here between the 11th of November and the 20th, as the two planets are together in direct motion in Capricorn, Venus and Pluto. Now, Venus here just makes you more beautiful, handsome, getting a new haircut, getting a new wardrobe. Venus will be in the sign of Capricorn till December the 8th. And so you get a glow up in your appearance. You're going to look handsome or pretty. You're going to feel persuasive and charismatic. You're going to radiate a kind of charm and charisma. You got a charm offensive, and it's a good vibe for you to get what you want. You got the boss babe Venus giving you the vibe of people wanting to, do things and help you because you are likable and congenial and persuasive and charming and attractive to the world during that window of time. Again, November the 11th until December the 8th. What else is going on? Let's talk Mercury just for a minute. Mercury is very fast-moving bugger, but he's kind of staging a long stay in Sagittarius, and he'll be there from November 2nd till January the 8th because of a retrogradation. Now, the Sagittarius part of your sky is your 12th house, and it's behind you, and it represents your inner life. Certainly, Mercury is the mind, so your dreams at night, your ideas, your inner life, what you're doing, thinking, writing, doing at home. It's good for writing projects in a quiet solitude life, the ashram of your mind. And he will retrograde on November 26th for 3 weeks, and that's going to end up looking like going back over old ground. But there are other meanings to the 12th house. It means far off foreign shores and lands. And Mercury is a patron protector of traveler. And it certainly can indicate some long distance travel to far off foreign exotic shores and lands. Anywhere between November the 2nd and January the 8th. And with the retrogradation in the third week of November, you've been to that place before. If you traveled during that retrogradation, November 26th at 3 weeks is to a place you've traveled before or in past lives. It feels very familiar to you. Mercury here is really going to be also good for kind of intense study or research that you do on your downtime quietly alone, when you have, space to be more off stage of life and doing something in the back end. Pay attention to your dreams. He's a dream messenger. The last time Mercury spent this much time in Sagittarius goes all the way back to the fall, November, December of 2017, and you might make some comparisons. Certainly, he's advantageous to your career and work. He sextiles your 10th house and to matters to do with home and domestic life. He trines it. So those things should be flourishing while he is in your 12th house. Keep that in mind as well, Capricorn. All right, so Mercury does that. And what about Mars? Mars is the god of change. That's one of his main meanings. He wants to affect change wherever he goes by creating directionality, decisions, and action. His big top three, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to take some action. I'm going to do this thing. Mars will be moving through your 8th house. Now, Mars will be in Leo, which is your 8th house of chunky money, starting on the 4th of November. And he does not leave until around January the 4th. And he's going to be there so long because he gets up to the 6th degree and then he retrogrades backwards. There's really going to be a sort of dipping his toes into your 8th house, but certainly he's still there. And this is like momentum, action, decisions, and change regarding money that you share with other people. Now, often I see this can look like separation of spousal assets, division of assets within a long-term business or love partnership. But otherwise, if are fighting over inheritance monies or something with somebody, especially with the North Node Chiron in the 4th house of legacy wealth. But if it's nothing like that, then what it is that you're busy making some executive decisions around investments, stocks, retirement funds, insurance matters, taxes, tax status, and you're doing a lot of stuff and you're changing your mind and changing your strategies because you're going to retrograde there as well. Go forward, go back, rethink it. It is a bit of a difficult house. It's a house of our deepest karma, and Mars is a very cut, end, and sever. So you could say, on a positive note, you're cutting, ending, and severing the karmic chains that bind you. And that may be most effective to cut and end and sever the karmic chains that bind you between November the 4th and the 11th, when you have Venus in your 12th house of karmatic and past life and spiritual matters, and Mars in your 8th house, meaning that's the most effective time to kind of wipe your hands clean of the karmic chains that bind you in the following areas: mother, childhood and family of origin and family systems matters, past life karma. And that's because Mars is flowing to the north node in your 4th house, meaning that you can really break some childhood karmatic stories that come from your family that you were born into or that raised you. So these things are all shifting, just shifting sands. And if you're into spiritual enlightenment, well, Mars is traveling through an enlightenment house, your north node is in an enlightenment house, and Venus will be in an enlightenment house. Mercury will be in an enlightenment house till January. So it's really good for the moksha energy, the spiritual liberation as well. Now, if you are wanting to have a kind of secret love affair with Venus in your 12th house and Mars in your 8th, you can do that. Secret love affairs can pop up for you between about November the 4th to the 11th. Secret love affairs, hidden attractions, those are possible too. Now, we're going to move into the bit by bit, and I'm going to show you the sky. I should mention that Jupiter is in your 6th house of work and will be there till next June. He's retrograde. Work opportunities from the past, especially South Node in the 10th house, may emerge for you during the month of October. And you also have Saturn all the way through until 2026 February, still hanging out in your 3rd house. Good news as he moves direct on the 15th of the month. This means that things that you've been plowing over from the past, from June to now, because that's the retrograde time, June of 24 to the 15th of November, you have been sort of stagnating because you had to go back over 3rd house matters, things to do with siblings, neighbors, neighborhood, things to do with writing and creative projects that are entrepreneurial or marketing and selling, going back over writing projects, especially going back over things to do with your relationships to your local environment, neighbors, neighborhood matters. And maybe stall in travel, like since June, like, if you did travel, you traveled since June to places you've been before. But now that there's a direct motion in the middle of November, you're going to travel to anywhere you want to go. No delays, no stalls. You're going to be able to get that writing project done. You're going to be able to connect to that sibling or neighbors or neighborhood environment. You're going to be able to take those courses of skills-based learning you wanted to take and that were stalled out. Those are moving forward as of mid-November. Okay, so we're going to talk about the sky, and I'm going to break it down by showing you the sky. I'm going to show you a picture of the sky. It's pouring rain here in Vancouver, Canada, and it's really, really gnarly weather. So you may hear some on the sky roof above me, some sounds of the rain. This is what the sky is looking like. Here we have it. And this is your sky. There's Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, getting ready to say adios, ciao, sayonara, goodbye. And you're going to be grateful for that. Now, let's start off by breaking the month into bits and pieces. On November the 1st to the 3rd, get a pen, get a paper. You might want it, or make sure you have this to listen to, in the future. If you have YouTube Premium, you can download this, or you can come join my Patreon community. But anyway, so November 1st to the 3rd is a bit difficult because Mars will be at the tail end, 29 degrees of your marriage and business partnership house, and legal and court matters, legal agreements and documents you need to sign. And you'll have Pluto at the tail end of you. If there is a primary love relationship, and this is mostly for the rising Capricorns, that isn't working for you in your life, you may actually have a massive explosive energetic in the first 3 days of November that could tear this relationship up, like a big explosive energy. So be careful if that's not what you want, but if it's what's meant to be, then that's a possibility. Similarly, big blowouts with a business partner, a client, or maybe a big blowout or confrontation regarding a legal matter of some sort. Then we also have a big grand water trine at the same time in the first 3 or 4 days of November. This is a water trine formed by that Mars traveling through still the sign of water, right? Mars will be at this point in Cancer. He does not yet move until the 4th into your 8th house. So Mars will be over here in Cancer at the end of the sign, and he will flow in a beautiful way to Mercury at the end of your 11th house. And you'll flow as well, that Mars trine to Neptune in your third house. Now, the houses 3, 7, and 11 are relational houses. And there's a glowy trine in the house of how you relate to your partner in love, your siblings, your extended nieces and cousins and neighbors and groups of belonging. And so there's a kind of a vibey, beautiful feeling of potential upliftment when it comes to how you connect in relationship to other people, especially on the emotional, watery front. And so that's not too bad, but we do have to contend with that opposition from Mars to Pluto at the very same time. So it's a mixed bag. It could be a cathartic emotional blowout with a significant relationship, but release and surrender into assistance from siblings, friends, neighbors, neighborhood, and childhood friends as you cope with the destructive aftermath of some blow up. Okay. What else? It's really good for also increasing your writing success, your career gains, and how you reach out to an audience and marketplace in a lucky and flowing way, November 1 to 3. On November 3 and 4, Venus will be opposite Jupiter, having a difficult conversation. You're going to see that conversation repeat later this month with Mercury, so pay attention. There's an opposition because there's a differing agenda between Jupiter in the house of work and health and pets and work routines, and Venus in your 12th house of spiritual liberation. It's almost like on foreign lands, there may be a tug of war to do with work matters in your spiritual life or your downtime and alone time, and now an obligation in the work environment. Because Jupiter's retrograding, it can connect to past colleagues, coworkers, and situations from the past. And this opposition will also come into a flowing relationship called a sextile trine to Chiron in your 4th house, where you've had a chironic wound of where your true home is and where your place of true belonging is. You've been wounded here since 2019. Feeling like the outsider, maybe the outcast. And as this chironic wound is being activated too, right, on November 3rd and 4th, you may find that there's a situation with work that's going to have a change of home, including work opportunities from far off foreign shores and lands or people in those places emerging. But there's some unsureness about it. And the other way is that any wounds around domestic animals and pets can be really up for investigation, and you may experience some changes in the situations in your life with animals and pets. Healing a chironic wound in the home regarding matters to do with animals and beloved family members that are not human. And on November the 3rd, 4th as well, the sun will trine Saturn. Now, the sun will be in watery Scorpio and Saturn is in your 3rd house. And you can already see the trine line in this picture between the 11th and the 3rd. This is something like I have a very positive development in my dreams, hopes, and wishes, in my career gains, directly money or opportunities. In my relationship to a sibling, one older and one younger, all of a sudden there's this linear line of flow, ease, and luck and opportunity showing up for you. This is really good for travel opportunities connected to work situations and opportunities as well. You may take a trip connected to a work opportunity. If that happens on November 3rd and 4th, that work opportunity can become a very stable and lasting and enduring work opportunity. It will just kind of go the distance for you. Otherwise, you may have just a travel opportunity with a sibling or with a group of friends or with a individual friend. And because Saturn will still be retrograde, it will be a place you've traveled to before. Short distance travel, usually more domestic or continental at least. Now, we move into a thing I forgot, the new moon. On November 1st. We're backtracking. I apologize. New moon, November 1st, 9 degrees of the sign of Scorpio, is a new beginning in your dreams, wishes, and goals for your life, your relationship to groups of friends of belonging. New friends can come in the 6 months that follows the November 1st moon, a new beginning in career gains and earnings. And with that South Node transit through your 10th house, these are career opportunities that stem from past lives or just your past in this life. And now you're going to see a new, fresh beginning in the career and reputation space. And that is going to blossom not only in the 2 weeks that follow the November 1st two moon, but in the 6 months that follow as well. November the 9th, Venus is going to become entangled in a challenging conversation called a square to Neptune. Well, Neptune is about what is confusing us. We've got a fantastical vision that may not be true. And he's in your third house of, travel and learning and siblings. And funny enough, this is also where we get the rewards of our eighth house karma as well. It's eighth from the eighth. I think you're going to find that there's something here that Saturn wants to accomplish. He's still retrograding, right? So his stuff from your past to do with siblings, neighbors, neighborhood, travel, learning, this everyday life that you live, but things that are from the past, especially since June, are being addressed by a solar energy, right? So, I did that already. I just repeated myself. We're back to Venus squaring Neptune. What do you need to really see more clearly that you have a fog of confusion about? Venus is saying, look to the past lives, look to the karma, look to the things that are very subtle, that are spiritual, that are she's going to try to clear something up. Now, this can be really practical. I'm sorry, I phased out and did something twice. This can be very practical. Like Venus can be saying, can you get a clear handle on this opportunity from a foreign place or foreign shore that requires travel without any kind of illusion or disillusionment potential? Certainly with Neptune in a retrograde motion, he's more prone to give you what's really under the wave surface, after the tide pulls out. So you're able already to see what's under the fog with a retrograde Neptune. But you need to think about the fine print. Where are the details? Mercury cannot see the fine print in Sagittarius, right? And he will get there in November 2nd. So with Venus is saying, look closely at what the fine print is that you may not be noticing here as she comes into that Neptune square, and pay close attention. All right. To do with travel or learning or faraway shore opportunities of some sort. For some of you, it's maybe also to do with online world stuff and digital revenue and income. And that has to be attended to with someone else giving you more fine print knowledge or understanding that you might not see. Get a fine print magnifier on details on November the 9th. Give or take a day. On November the 12th, Mercury squaring Saturn. Now, Mercury is the messenger of the gods and the guy with all the news is fit to print. Out of dignity in Sagittarius, he doesn't have a lot of strength here because he doesn't see the details he should be seeing. He's more visionary, imaginal, or, big picture thinker here. And he squares Saturn. And again, it's like, what is it? Like Venus squaring Neptune, now Mercury squaring Saturn. It's all 11th house, 12th house, third house matters. I mean, it looks to me like a lot of you are going back over old karmatic patterns with siblings or neighbors or extended family, those aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, to break some karmic chains. But otherwise, you may be really trying to figure out something to do with long distance travel, things to do with learning opportunities abroad or the online world and your digital income revenue sources, and straightening up what's confusing and needs to be cleared. Saturn is sober-minded, serious, and realistic, and he will be in direct motion, as I said, on the 15th. So get ready for that. He's still trolling the past at this time. And then we go to November the 15th to the 19th, and that's a very busy window of time. First, it starts with a full moon on the 15th, and that's at 24 degrees of Taurus. Now, full moons bring completion, endings, but also fulfillment. And the fulfillment and completions are surprising you. It's the fifth house of money luck. So you win a lottery ticket, winning money in gaming and speculation on fixed star algol, which is a wealth star. But there's some sort of shocks and surprises. At the same time, there's fulfillment and completion regarding money luck, children, fertility, pregnancy, matters to do with creativity and entrepreneurship and sexuality. Full moon can complete a romantic life story. A full moon can complete something to do with a creative project or entrepreneurial business project. A full moon can light something up to do with your own children. But with the Algol and Uranus and a full light moon, we're having a bit of a surprise, a bit of a shock going on here. Good news is this full moon does sextile Neptune and the sun trines it. So there's a softening here. And so the Neptune part is that where is this shocking, surprising fulfillment in the fifth house that also flows to the house of writing, the house of traveling, the house of teaching, the house of learning, skills-based learning. Your third house comes into the mix here. Certainly the moon is reflecting the light of a sun that's in your 11th house, and there could be connections to elder sibling or things to do with your extended friendship networks that flow into third house matters, travel. If you're a social media person, this is really nice for you. Your creative projects give you surprising results in the social media realm. They bring you greater career gains, for example. So there's that full moon, but there's surprises. I hate Uranus. Can't tell you what the surprise is. There's a surprise of some kind. So I can't tell you how to expect it, but otherwise it's a little unexpected. But it's not necessarily negative because it is a trine to Neptune. Neptune is retrograde. Uranus is retrograde. So there's surprises coming, but they're also anchored in your past. Okay. With that full moon, we also can see that we have Mercury opposite Jupiter at the same time. So it's going to be Mercury opposite Jupiter kind of vibing between, the 15th to the 19th. Mercury is going to have the same difficult conversation with Jupiter that Venus had on November 3rd and 4th. They may be related. November 3rd and 4th may be also connected to events, therefore, of the 16th to the 19th. Mercury is saying, like, I want to, sleep in. I want to do something with my dreams. I want to work on a project in my downtime alone, home alone, creatively. I want to think my way through the situation in my ashram of the mind. And then Jupiter's now, we got to get some work done over here in the house of work, in the house of service. And we're retrograding. So we have opportunities there from the past. And so there's a conflict of desire here. I think that ultimately this Mercury opposite Jupiter also calls into your purview the necessary details and attention to details that isn't necessarily what Mercury is good for. So foreign source, foreign land opportunities, work and career from the past, look at the details, get a detailed eye on it, get a detailed eyeball on it. And because we keep seeing, other meanings of Jupiter in the sixth house, or maybe some pet situations. You want to adopt a pet, a rescue animal from Chihuahua, from Mexico, and there's all the fine print paperwork, negotiations, and travel things that have to be done to move a pet in an airplane. That's kind of like all the details of the conflicts of moving pets on airplanes is basically a possibility here for some of you. Then on November the 21st and 22nd, oh, yes, this is a nice sky for all of us. You're going to not mind the third week of November. So first of all, Sun is sextiling Pluto. Sun will be in a flowing relationship to Pluto in your second house. Remember, you're done with Pluto as of the 19th. Now we got the 21st, 22nd. Pluto is direct at 0 degrees on fixed star Altair. Play to win and win in the house of money and earnings. You've got Mars traveling through your 8th house axis, where there's changes in how you handle your money and your resources, your possessions. And Pluto gets a glow up from the sun at the tail end of your 11th house. Certainly at the beginning of your 12th house. Certainly wonderful for changes in your financial resources from things you're doing privately in your solitude, alone, home alone, changes in your food style if you have addictive substance pattern abuse issues, and some positive flying colors changes with money connected to foreign shores and foreign lands. There's opportunities there. If you make money digitally or you wish to, I certainly don't mind that sextile. This is a beginning of a new path where you could be a digital entrepreneur or make money with foreign companies, barter and trade, foreign lands, or get hired by a foreign corporation when November 21 to 22. At the same time, Venus, the goddess of all good things, is in her boss babe Capricorn shoulder pads. She's in Capricorn. It is her favors to you and luck she gives you here. She's sextile Saturn in the house of travel, in the house of communicating, marketing, and selling, in the house of writing, in the house of local neighborhoods. Things are looking swell. You're probably traveling, but you may also be having a smooth ride when it comes to things to do with neighbors and neighborhoods, sibling relationships, and more. It's a blessed window of yay you, November 21 to 22 or so. Finally, when we end the month on two notes, on November 26th to the 27th, the sun, busy sun this month, is trining Mars. Mars is in Leo. Yay. Wow. We don't mind Mars in your eighth house tidying up those financial problems if you need to get bare bones down to paring away the dead wood in your money stories, you're doing it. And the sun is going to be in Sagittarius. By the way, sun in Sagittarius, third week of November to third week of December is going to light up your moksha spiritual liberation house. And you might focus a lot on your meditations, on your solitude as well. A shine bright light in the house of solitude. But it's also like the idea here that this trine between the sun, November 26th and 7th, and Mars could indicate that you're going to be traveling for financial reasons, that you're going to be taking far off foreign land journeys. We have Mercury there, the patron protector of travelers, and it indicates travel for financial reasons. And with Pluto and Mars connecting across the Leo and Aquarius axis of the chart, there's an indication that you're probably on your money mark, but you may be involved in new career developments connected to past career matters and far off foreign shores and lands from where you are currently residing as a possibility. Now, digital income is also enhanced. And again, as I mentioned, finally, the end of the month is a new moon, 9 degrees of Sagittarius. 9 degrees of Sagittarius. We're back to that 12th house. If you're not in an ashram in the 2 weeks or 6 months that follow, doing aloneness in the ashram of your mind and paying attention to your inner life and breaking karmic chains that bind you from multiple incarnations from this new moon with that long stay of Mercury. Again, go back to Mercury's long stay, November, December 2017, elemental fire year. What were you doing in that 12th house? Were you traveling to foreign shores and lands? Were you doing backroom deals and negotiations? Were you spiritually awakening? Because it's back again. And with a new moon here and a new beginning at 9 Sagittarius, there's something fresh starting up for you. No doubt about it. And it is in a trine to that Mars. The new moon is trining Mars. So it's going to be good for your soul, for ending karmatic patterns, for breaking the chains that bind you. But it's also not too bad, not too shabby for your money. This new moon will be in a broad sextile to Pluto in the house of resources and trining Mars in the house of chunky money. So where I go with that is also changes in your inner life are going to bring resourcefulness and magical increases of prosperity as well. And that's every new moon takes 2 weeks to finish, but also 6 months. So don't expect the full Monty to immediately be visible to you. The lunation lord is Jupiter in your 6th house of work and karmic service and debt. You may be able to eliminate debt, sure, pay off a mortgage, pay off a credit card, but you may also be able to service the debt by working. And so there's a lot of I have a retired ex-Capricorn husband, for example. I think he's going back to work in some way. I bet you any money. All right, that's what I got for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's making sense. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check the notification bell, click it off because you'll know when I put out one of my 20 to 30 videos every month. And Patreon community gets everything, early access, ad-free. Check me out on Patreon. See if you want to be a member. The lowest tier is a measly $5. Why not jump aboard? All right, I'll see you guys hopefully on my channel because you're going to follow what I do next. And see you soon. Ciao, ciao.